So tell me, won't you tell me, are you happy? A lot of y'all have been writing my show asking a very poignant question. Becky, what happens if in the midst of my when in doubt throw it outing, I accidentally throw out something I need later? Well, friend, then you buy another one. Thanks for writing. It's time for my bones to pick. Ife's bones to pick. What bone will she pick? On today's episode, get ready for my bones to pick. Ife's bones to pick is a segment in which I talk about why the world's approach to mental health just doesn't work. I'm going to be picking apart one topic every episode to discuss why the medical approach to mental health fails miserably. Today, I want to talk about the Chemical Imbalance Theory. In the world, the medical field operates under a theory surrounding mental health and where mental illness comes from. The medical field sees mental illness as being a product of a mixture of things. We have an imbalance in chemicals in our brain that causes things like depression, schizophrenia, even anxiety. There might be a combination of genetics, and sometimes when the person is a little more progressive, they might even include childhood trauma, abuse, that sort of thing, into their list. Now, the problem with the chemical imbalance theory is, in my own experience, it can lead to an internalization of problems. Now I start to identify. I identify with my problems to the point where this just stems from my biology and I'm never going to escape from it. The problem with the chemical imbalance theory is that it has a great potential to keep people in cycles of crisis after crisis and chronic mental illness. It's really problematic for a lot of reasons to go off of this theory if you are a person who wants to see some long-term healing. The chemical imbalance theory can make deep healing very difficult for several reasons. One of the reasons I found in my own life is that though I was encouraged to see it as a problem that was just like diabetes, you would take insulin if you had diabetes, right? Is something that I heard a lot. One issue that I found is that though you could say it's chemicals and it's an imbalance, I don't really have anything to grasp onto in my reality that allows me to actually take some part in the healing process. The chemical imbalance theory also becomes really reductive, and it's an oversimplification of what a person is going through. And really, I would say it doesn't encourage me to think deeply about what might be going on in my life that might have led to me going through a crisis. So if you're going through a crisis, the chemical imbalance theory says it's just something wrong with your brain. Something's wrong in your brain. And there are only very limited things that you can do to fix that or to help that. And I don't like the chemical imbalance theory because in reality, I am not a bunch of cells and I am not a bunch of chemicals firing either appropriately or not appropriately. When I have feelings, when I have emotions, when you have feelings and when you have emotions, they mean something and they're real for a real reason. And if I'm going to heal, I have to recognize that it is not a problem with my brain, but that there are things going on on a deeper level that I'm just unaware of right now. Now, if this is just an issue with my brain, it is very easy to just internalize these problems, and now I'm going to identify with mental illness when really I want to heal. If I identify with challenges that I go through, it is going to make breaking those cycles impossible. I don't want to identify with my challenges because I want to overcome challenges. I don't want challenges to be a part of my life forever. And in the medical field, it is honestly something that is encouraged, especially of people who find themselves in and out of the hospital. It is encouraged that people have this perspective to say, this is something you're going to deal with for the rest of your life. That in this way, going through a crisis, this is something you're going to have and deal with for the rest of your life. When I heard that, I did not like hearing that. That made me feel like I was doomed, that my life was doomed, that all I had to look forward to was an existence of medications that were giving me side effects that I hated and could not stand, and seeing doctor after doctor and therapist after therapist every week, every month for a lifetime. I did not want that for myself. And many people that I worked with as a mental health professional didn't want that for themselves either. But in the medical field, if we're honest, the medical field is not aware of ways that people can truly heal in a permanent and long-term fashion. And because of that, these conversations about healing, permanently, long-term healing, are avoided. But I'm here to tell you today that you can heal. I cannot deeply understand the issues that I face in my mental health if I experience a chemical imbalance that is simply inherited by genes. I will not understand deeply what is going on with me. I cannot deeply understand the human reasons for what I'm experiencing if it is only something happening because of something in my brain firing wrongly and or genes that I've inherited from family. That does not help me in reality. And it certainly isn't helping me to overcome what I've overcome. Next up, we have That's What Church is For. The church's part to play. We just talked about a lot of really deep and meaningful things. The church's part to play is to really understand and get to the root of what's going on with people. And that requires a lot of empathy. But first and foremost, I want the church, and I believe that the Lord is saying that the church is meant to take back that role, take back the role that they were intended to walk in, which is supporting people through what they're going through. Members of the body, you don't have to be afraid to ask questions. You don't have to be afraid to be open-minded. You don't have to be afraid to allow someone the space to express to you what it is that they're going through. And you don't have to be afraid to challenge people's mindsets. When we can discern and judge the fruit, we can recognize if the person in front of us seeking help is believing lies or believing the truth. Mental illness always operates with a set of lies that cause a person to believe things about their reality that are not really true. When we believe things that are not true, our body has a response, and our bodies start to feel things that align with what is seen as mental illness. So when it comes to depression, if I believe that there is no hope, my body has a response, and my body feels weighed down. My body feels like it doesn't want to move, because what's the point? There is no hope. But when I believe that there's something to live for, my body responds with life. So the church's part to play is understanding what people are going through. Take the time to educate yourselves. Take the time to ask questions. Take the time to show people love and acceptance. Because that's what church is for. Church, when you're supporting someone with depression, encourage them with your words. Use loving words of affirmation to combat the lies that the enemy tries to sow into their lives. Be the light in this person's dark situation and use your love in your words. Speak words of life, encouragement, and compassion over the people that you serve and support. Because that's what church is for. That's what church is for. And lastly, encourage people in counsel to take responsibility for the thoughts that they listen to. Encourage people to use their choice to listen to those people who love them and encourage them in the truth over listening to the voice of the enemy. We have a choice which voices and which thoughts we believe and agree with. Encourage your fellow brothers and sisters to listen to the voice of truth and not to listen to the voice of the enemy. When we recognize that these lies only lead to the death and destruction of ourselves and everyone around us, we will be less willing to agree with them and more willing to be aware of them, taking every thought captive and forcing it to submit to Jesus Christ. And when we do that, we see that's what church is for. Yep.
To throw things away which you had no real use for. This is groundbreaking. The feeling one gets to throw these things away. Incroyable! Such radiance! C'est magnifique! You walk away, how you say, glowing! It is as if you have just cleansed your soul!